Hello, my name is Taylor Lapidus. You are watching the blog by the Precision Team. Today we're going to talk about earnest money deposits, also known as EMDs. An earnest money deposit is a placeholder. The buyer puts it down on a property that they're interested in after they've negotiated a price and terms with the seller. Once those terms and prices negotiated, the contract is ratified and fully signed by all parties, and escrow is then opened. At that time, usually within 24 hours, the buyer's earnest money check is deposited at the title company. Now that's negotiable. Sometimes it can be held by either the listing broker, buyer broker. In some cases, even the seller can hold on to that money. The money then sits there until one of three things happen. Either one, the deal closes, at which point that money is credited back to the buyer. It's their money. It was just a placeholder. Two, the deal flips, meaning that it does not close. And under there is the second and third scenario. One, the deal flips because the buyer was dissatisfied with their inspection or some other condition in the contract wasn't met. At that point, the buyer gets the money back, the contract is declared null and void, and all parties move on. The third scenario is the only way that the buyers can lose that money, and that's default, which is basically willful failure to perform. It's not because the buyer was dissatisfied with the inspection, which is in the contract under most standard contracts. Usually there's an appraisal clause or a finance clause, meaning that the buyers are able to get money for their financing as the terms of the loan that they originally thought they would be able to. They move forward. If they don't, then they get their earnest money deposit back and the deal is declared null and void. So it's not because of one of those things. They suddenly, the day before closing or a couple days before closing, out of nowhere decide, you know what, I don't want to buy this home anymore. I like it, I went through my inspection, I was satisfied, but at the end of the day, I'm just not doing it. Well, at that point, the seller's only option is to collect the earnest money deposit. Even if there was a second buyer in line that would have paid as much or maybe even more for the property as the original buyer, there's nothing the sellers can do besides collect the earnest money deposit. So that's why I call the earnest money a placeholder. The sellers are taking the home off the market once they accept a contract. Meaning that, again, if someone comes in with a higher offer than the buyer that they accepted, once they've signed that purchase contract and are in agreement with the buyers, no other offers can be taken until that contract is declared null and void, which is usually just really at the buyer's option through their inspection period. So even though there is the risk involved of taking an offer and taking your home on the market, the seller's only remedy is the earnest money. So it's got to be large enough that they feel comfortable in these buyers, that the buyers are serious. And that's what the earnest money indicates. How serious are the buyers? Now they say industry standards are usually 3%. Nowadays, I haven't seen any earnest monies come in at 3%. It varies, and it usually is some sort of percentage of the purchase price, but 1%, even less sometimes, depending on the deal. Everything's negotiable. My name is Taylor Lapidus. Thanks for checking our blog out. Have a great day.